All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This is a special impromptu reaction version of This Ain't Texas, the podcast, where we break down Cowboy Carter and the road to the 2025 Grammys. My name is Peter Rosenberg. And listen, a lot of people, all right, I get it. A lot of people had meals on Christmas. There were a lot of Christmas dinners. All right. But only one person ate this Thanksgiving, and that would be Beyonce Knowles Carter. Good God Almighty. We have to break it down. And right now, I see a version that still is up. So we're just going to do a quick breakdown of what we saw from Beyonce Bowl. That's right. Beyonce performed at halftime of the Ravens Texans game yesterday in Houston, NRG Stadium. First of all, I love the setup off top that like the football was pure garbage yesterday. Like just absolute. The Chiefs Steelers game was never particularly interesting. I was already waiting for Beyonce. And then the Ravens Texans game was a complete dud. Both games, if you had bet the favorite, you would have been good all day long. Just nothing sort of games that just reminded you why we were there. And we were at a party. So I watched this the first time on a phone and then got home and watched it again. And now I'm going to watch it for a third time with you. So you see the backdrop right there outside NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. And here we go. The Beyonce Bowl begins. Starts with 16 Carriages, which I thought was super interesting. I think you could have maybe guessed 16 Carriages as a start. I don't know if it would have been my number one choice, but I certainly would have considered it an option. And I love it. She comes out riding the horse down this red and white like rug in the bowels of NRG Stadium with like a cowboy walking her. She looks ravishing, as of course. Big cowboy hat, all white, the big white fur, the white horse, the cowboy wearing blue jeans, white jacket, and a white face mask. And then you see the big pyro, the Cowboy Carter in the backdrop. She walks past an American flag and all these sort of old-timey Cadillacs parked in the bowels of the stadium. I knew right off top, I'm like, if she's starting with 16 Carriages, we're getting something. We're getting a special thing. And this is why I absolutely love this. Immediately, there's a purpose there. Like, let's pause that. She looks over to her left after finishing 16 Carriages, and you see 4 horses with people standing on the horses. Everyone's wearing all white except 2 people wearing red, white, and blue. There's a guy wearing a red, white, and blue vest and a girl wearing a red, white, and blue sort of shirt and matching pants. It's a mix of people. Appears to be literally all black, white men and women all together, and they're kind of looking back at her. And now we're going to get our first commercial, so deal with that for a second. All right. It's just a quick little pause there. All right, here we go. She's off the horse. And then right when she goes to Blackbird, I go, okay, so we're getting everybody. And we did. We got Brittany Spencer, Raina Roberts, Hannah Adele, and Tierra Kennedy, all with her. And this is something Bun B talked about. If you listen to This Ain't Texas, episode 3, Beyonce recognizing the moment and using a moment this big specifically to shine a light. And this is incredible. Into the light of a dark place. Still, by the way, they're still backstage essentially. Now we see all 4 girls. What an awesome image. Beyonce walking in the middle, 2 girls on either side, or 2 ladies, I should say, walking down this sort of red and white American flag looking runway.
only waiting for this moment to arrive.
What an awesome moment.
We're only waiting for this moment.
And all of these women are having different versions of a big year. And I'm sure this is, of course, the biggest moment of what has been a big year for all these women. Amazing shot as the camera rolls behind all of the women. There's a full 360. And then Beyonce will walk forward and leave the women there. She drops her hat and makes her way out. Now, nerdy thought here. That has to all be a pre-tape, right? Is that whole thing a pre-tape? And I know this is getting super nerdy, and this is now the fact that I work in live television with WWE. Like, why would you not pre-tape that if the first time you're going to see her live in the stadium is not until she walks through the curtain? The smartest thing to do would be to pre-tape all of that so you can risk nothing and then just have to worry about this performance now that she walks out into NRG Stadium, because this part's complicated enough. But either way, it doesn't matter. So now we have Beyonce on stage. She is in NRG Stadium.
2, 3, 4.
Right into Yaya. Fun way to start the show. And this is sort of what I was like wondering about.
Do what I do, yeah. Hello, girls. Hello, Beyonce. Hello, fellas.
I guess wondering is the wrong word. What I was fascinated by
Girl, we clapping.
is the fact that I think Cowboy Carter is a very specific album. You know, I can even gauge it by the interest in this podcast and the people who I talk to and conversation. Cowboy Carter is specific. It's not even for all Beyonce fans yet. You know what I mean? I think it's for hardcore Beyonce fans. And I think it's for people like me who've always really enjoyed her, but then this specific music hit them like, wow, I love this combination of her doing this music. So to me, it makes the entire performance fascinating because it's a gigantic international platform. We don't have the numbers yet, but my guess is probably close to 50 million people tuned in. 40 and 50 million, I'm guessing, right? To watch music that I think is really mostly known by a kind of specific group. And she never left the music. This whole performance is Cowboy Carter. Is now we have the huge band vibe again, and Bun talked about that. Here we go. And now we're into the vibe of big black marching band, right? She's now blended her country vibes with her classic homecoming Bayou classic vibes. And this is now giving, of course, big homecoming vibes, big Beachella vibes. So we get that quick little interlude, straight Bayou classic vibes. And then a medley. Yo, that's a crazy thing she just did there.
Someone brought me back to life, but never took my senses.
She's got river dance going and spaghetti at the same time. A true medley, like a literal true medley. As you can hear Swizz's voice. Back, and now he's Swizz.
You can hear when I still bought a Chevy and painted red. Money longer can't fit in the bed.
I mean, what a moment for Shabuzi. What a year this has been for Shabuzi. And to cap it off with this huge spot, man.
These ain't calibrations. We don't need highways. We can take back roads. Never be a riding back. Stepping that stirrup. Hop on my saddle. Snag on my feet, they rattle. In the bag, only thing can't last. So I'm still going up like a ladder. And I'm still in the field.
I mean, by the way, do we spend enough time when we talk about Beyonce, the performer, like just talking about how great a dancer she is at shows? I mean, at this stage still, literal no drop off. I mean, damn, a drop off. She's probably at her best she's ever been in her early 40s. And now we roll into Levi's jeans, and she rolls over to this truck. Right then, my wife goes, Post Malone has to be in the truck. Turns out Post Malone was leaning up against the truck. Now, if you really want to nerd out, the one little flaw that they may have had all night long is this shot right here. They show him for a second. Boom. They didn't mean to go out that wide. Should not have shown him. Now you want to. Now, of course, what's fascinating to me about this is that Post Malone, who, by the way, kills it here, and Beyonce, it's my favorite part of this song, too, in this abbreviated version. That's my favorite bop she does in the song. And Post seems to be having such a ball. Their love, their interaction together was a lot of fun. I don't know if they've ever even sung this song near each other before. I mean, there's a chance that they really have never sung this song near each other. So what a fun moment to see them do it in front of 40 million people. But how can you not spend a moment noticing that the only time the crowd in the first 10 minutes gets completely audible is when they see Post Malone? And again, that is the genius of Beyonce. She's giving this audience, which, is a big split in terms of, and now we get into the Jolene opening medley as the car comes out. I have to admit, I was hoping Dolly Parton would be in the car. She was not in the car, but the performance was amazing. Beyonce sitting in the car performing Jolene. But how can you not notice that the one time the crowd got super excited, that you could audibly hear, is when Post Malone came out. And Beyonce's absolute awareness that would be the case. I'm going to expose you to all of these incredible black artists. And I'm also aware that this majority, or certainly high percentage, white Houston Texans game crowd is probably only going to get audibly excited when they see Post Malone. And again, all part of the Beyonce brilliance, in my opinion, of this project, of this entire experiment, and of this performance last night. Should be noted, by the way, that after the show on Beyonce's page, she put up a post suggesting something big is coming.
Cowboy Carter.
And there's Dolly's voice.
Everybody put your hands together. I'm so honored to be in Texas right now. Let's take it to the floor now.
114.25.
For the first time in Houston, Texas on Christmas. Y'all help me sing. This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold up. So lay your car down, 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 down. So park your Lexus. Throw your keys up.
Now,
stick around.
if you'd been paying close attention thus far, you could have already spotted Blue. But her coming out as her primary background dancer, the backup dancer for this, is so adorable and awesome.
There's a tornado in my city.
I just felt like this was like a personal performance for people who love this album. Like, this is such a big deal that she's doing Texas Hold'em for certain people. But and now there's Blue holding hands with her mom, looking so cute. And they hit the full line dance together. Oh, so cute. I've become that guy. I really, listen, you never know when you're going to get fully sucked into the beehive. And for me, it happened late. But here we go as they do-si-do. Oh, she's so good, man. No one's ever done anything like this, guys. No one's ever done this. I'm telling you right now. You may have seen, we've seen Prince, we've seen Michael, we've seen many people on the biggest stages, like at Super Bowls, at halftime. But I'm telling you, there has never been a live television stadium show this good. This crushes Michael at the Super Bowl. And I'm the biggest Michael guy in the biz today. I know Prince performed Purple Rain in the Rain, and that is glorious. This crushes that. From an overall performance, her voice quality, the dancing, the setup, the different looks, the whole thing, the intentionality, the exposing other artists. No one's ever done this. Like that. That's the thing about me. I'm a fan of greatness, and I am truly in this moment enjoying the greatness, not only of the music of Cowboy Carter, but the thoughtfulness, the intentionality, her provoking people, inspiring people to have conversation. And a lot of you guys aren't noticing it, but I am, and many people are. And this performance, it gets no better than this. We've never seen this. Call me a prisoner of the moment if you want. I want to be a prisoner of the moment. I'm not missing this. In the end, she's floating to the sky, and then she's going to do the little gun sign like she's been doing throughout the promo, and the bang sign drops. Come on, y'all. Oh, my God. She's 50 feet above the, maybe 100 feet above the stadium. Oh, my God. Look at that. Look at
Merry
that.
Christmas. God bless y'all. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, guys. That is just stupendous. It doesn't get better than that. I'm telling you, people can call me a prisoner of the moment if they want. You say whatever you like. I have no problem with it. But point out the Super Bowl. She just had the best Super Bowl performance we've ever seen, and it wasn't the Super Bowl. It was a regular season game on Christmas Day, and it was the greatest Super Bowl performance we've ever seen. She didn't miss one note. The dancing was flawless. The special appearances were flawless. The way people showed up, the ins and outs, everything was perfect. She kept it thematic. She followed the album. It was album only with a slight interlude. She didn't do any other hit. She didn't do a Christmas song. She didn't hit you with Crazy in Love. It was just, I'm giving you this specific project in this specific moment. As a fan, a huge fan, as you can tell from this album, to me, that was the ultimate perfect Christmas present. She ate on Christmas. Congratulations. Parkwood, Beyonce, everybody. That was fantastic. Blue Ivy, that was flawless. It could not have been better. The one thing I nitpicked was the camera shot showed Post Malone 1 second too early. Besides that, if you're talking about that, this went incredibly well. So you guys can comment. You guys can send messages. Let me know what you think. I don't think it could have been any better. And I really am curious, is there anyone out there who is not yet a Cowboy Carter fan who now wants to go check out the project because of this? That's something that interests me quite a bit, because I have to imagine there were a lot of people who slept, and after they heard some of those songs are now going to go check it out. Anyways, we'll be back in a couple of weeks with a new episode. If you're listening for the first time or watching this on YouTube, subscribe to This Ain't Texas, the podcast. We are 4 episodes into breaking down Cowboy Carter. We've interviewed Gary Clark Jr., Bun B, and many more to sort of get into the ins and outs of why Beyonce made this project, how she made it, and what it's really all about, because I think it's a fascinating time for one of the greatest artists in music. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, all that stuff, everyone.